What is it like being a Jamaican in Kenya? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com. And today in Jamaicans to the World, we talk to Kerry-Ann Makatiani, who is living in Kenya. Welcome, Kerry-Ann. Did I get that last name right?
Thanks. That's fine, Xavier. A little bit off, but then I also think I just did the the other pronunciation of your name. So we're all good. It's Makatiani. Thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Xavier.
So,
Xavier.
and listen, I am
We'll get the
fine.
names right.
I am fine with Xavier. That is perfectly
Okay.
fine. I know it's a French pronunciation, and I'm good with it.
All right. Thanks so much. We're good.
So my first question is this: where in Jamaica are you from?
I'm from St. Catherine. I lived in Greendale, St. Catherine, but went to school in St. Andrew. Actually, went to St. Andrew High School for girls. So, and my grandparents were in Kingston as well. So we spent a lot of time in Kingston, but and then went back home to St. Catherine in the evenings after school.
Okay, okay. I'm also. I grew up in St. Catherine myself. I grew up in Portmore. So
Okay, I know Portmore as well, and my dad's family is from Kitson Town, which normally people don't really know it. But then recently there was the earthquake that had the epicenter near Kitson Town, so it kind of became known to the world. But yeah, that's where my dad's family is from, and then we just lived, out just a bit halfway between Kitson Town and closer to Kingston.
okay, okay. So how long have you been living in Kenya?
In Kenya, I'll say I have been in Kenya since 1999, but in 1998 we were in South Africa. So I did an exchange program at school from New York to South Africa, and my husband was also doing some business in South Africa at the time. And then we moved to Kenya in 1999. So, I mean, that answers a question actually is why am I in Kenya? Because my husband is Kenyan. So we moved in 1999, got married. And then in 2003, we went back to South Africa again, spent around 6 years, and then came back in 2003, we went to South Africa, spent 6 years. Yeah, then we came back around 2009, and then we've been here since.
Okay. What do you love about Kenya?
Kenya. Kenya is a beautiful country. I mean, that's one of the first things I can say. It's a really beautiful country. It has the seas, which was critical. I mean, I remember it was one of the first things my husband had to show me. I needed to know that there were good seas, and it's the Indian Ocean, so the beaches remind me a lot of home. Blue seas and warm water. Unlike South Africa, where you can get very cold water because it's the Atlantic Ocean instead of the Indian Ocean in parts of South Africa. It has mountains, it has lakes, you hike, you go. I mean, I've climbed Mount Kenya. After we climbed Mount Kenya, we came down, we went to a national park. So from climbing the mountain and you come down and you're in a park, you go on a safari, you see the animals. When we want to chill, we go to the beach and relax. So it's just a beautiful country. The weather is great.
Okay. It sounds like it has it all.
Many things.
It sounds like it has it all. So my next question is, what do you like the least about Kenya?
I probably have the same pet peeves as a lot of people. I mean, most countries. I mean, corruption and I think politics are the two things I like the least. I mean, Kenya has so much going for it, and just like with a lot of African countries, that corruption becomes the issue, and to me, that's why the development is not where it should be. I mean, when you look at what Kenya has, I mean, it has natural oils, gases, it has minerals, it has beautiful weather, it has a young population and an educated population. I mean, I've been here, as I said, since 1999. I speak very little Swahili, not because my mother-in-law didn't try, she tried, but I don't have to speak it because everywhere I go, people speak English. I mean, so as you can see, most people are bilingual. They're speaking English, Swahili, and a lot of time their own ethnic language. And we shouldn't be where we are. So, I mean, corruption is something that has just really impacted our development, and that annoys me. And politics. I just don't like politics anywhere. I don't think politics is a nice game in any country. So, yeah.
So just you spoke some Swahili to me earlier.
Oh no, you're going to ask me to speak some. If there's a Kenyan, listen to this, or my husband sees this. Anyway, it says speak kidogo kidogo, which means just a little bit of Swahili. But I do, speak some phrases. Like if you said something to me, and we finally got the lighting and everything right, and then we were ready to start, and then I said, okay, good, sawa. That's just kind of second nature. Sawa just means okay, cool. We're ready to go. So I say sawa. I even say it to my sister sometimes, so they have to kind of get used. They'll say something like sawa, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's go, sawa, sawa. So yeah, I just know a few phrases, but not enough to hold a conversation or follow a conversation, unfortunately.
Okay. So my next question to you is this one. Mm-hmm. Is there any similarity you see in culture between Jamaica and Kenya?
Yeah, the similarity, and I'm going to say I don't know if it's an African thing, because it's not just Kenya, so it may be part of our Africa connections in the Caribbean, but the celebration of culture through food and music. I mean, that's very, you see it here. So obviously the food is very different, the music is very different, but the fact that if you hear a certain song, you will know where it comes from. It has a meaning. It originates somewhere. And then depending on what you're eating, again, each group has their food. So this is a Lua dish, this is a Luya dish, this is a Kikuyu dish. And so that celebration through food and music reminds me a lot of home. So different food, different music, but just that culture.
So favorite food. What is your favorite Kenyan food?
Okay, that one's interesting, because when I first came, I had to get used to the food, and particularly for the group that my husband is from, they like there's a dish called ugali. It's a staple in Kenya. It's made out of maize meal. So you see how we would have cornmeal. It's maize meal, but it's a white corn. Sorry, in Kenya they call corn maize, and it's a white corn, and then it's milled. They grind it, and it becomes a flour, and that flour they actually turn it into a dish similar to just cornmeal. Basically, you just add water. Sometimes, if you want to be adventurous, they may add milk, but generally it's just water, and then you cook it. They don't add salt, and it's very plain. But then you have to use it. You eat it like with some greens. By greens, again, I'm using terms again. Greens is like, for example, not sukuma. Callaloo would be a greens. So callaloo, spinach, anything like that is a greens, yeah? So here the popular greens are something like sukuma, spinach, yeah? So you will cook that down, and then you'll have a meat dish, chicken or beef with a stew. So it absorbs it's bland. It's like rice. Rice doesn't have a flavor, yeah? So ugali it's bland because it's just meant to be like the plate for the meal. Yeah, but I found it very plain, so I had to get used to that. Having said that, I must say the food scene in Kenya is amazing. There are amazing restaurants. I mean, anything. We have Indian. That was actually surprising to me. And you learn things when you first come to the country. Like when I first came to Kenya, I thought Kenya was going to be like West Africa, just hot, like Jamaica. So I came with all, short sleeve shirts and some, shorts, not too short because Kenya's still a bit conservative, but everything cool. And the weather can drop here till, 6, 10 degrees. And some of the places we were going was even lower than that. So, that was a surprise. So, something that shocked me as well was just the food here. Like Indian food is really good, and that's because there's a very big Indian population in Kenya. And so their food is amazing. I wasn't expecting that. But the food scene here is great. We have great restaurants. I mean, Mexican, Indian, Italian. If you go to the coast of Kenya, going up to past Mombasa, which is one of the coastal towns, and going further up, you're going to hit Malindi. Malindi is a little Italy in Kenya. I mean, a lot of Italians settle there, and it's, if you go there, you'll hear Italian in the hotels. I mean, the workers in the hotel industry, they all speak Italian, and you have amazing Italian food there. But it also comes down into Nairobi. So I can't say what my favorite food is because I'm spoiled for choice.
So then, is Jamaican food there?
Is which one?
Are there any Jamaican restaurants?
When I first came, there was a Jamaican restaurant, and I remember I used to go and get patty, and I was really happy for that because patty is the one thing that I can't do. I mean, there are a lot of things that I replicate here because you can get the foods. It's just not cooked the same way we do in Jamaica, but you can get it. You can get dasheen, you can get green bananas, they don't have the yams here that we eat. You get goat. Goat is very popular, but they don't cook it how we cook it. But you can get the meat and the foods. But the one thing I could never do was a patty. So there was a restaurant here when I first moved, but now not so much. Not so much. You kind of have to do it yourself.
So let me ask you this question: what Jamaican food, apart from patty, do you miss the most?
Okay, when I come home, I mean, I do a food run. So starting from my grape nut ice cream, stew peas, ackee and saltfish. I can't get ackee and saltfish here. There's no ackee here, and neither is there any saltfish. So ackee and saltfish. I just want the good curry goat. As much as I try and cook it, sometimes it's not that great. So the good curry goat, good curry chicken, stew peas. I don't know. I just go on a whole spree. Brown stew, everything. Hallelujah and saltfish, just everything. But yeah, one of the stops has to be patty. I miss a good patty and cocoa bread, and can't get anything like that here.
Oh boy, yes, patty and cocoa bread, the combination that is the combination of all.
Exactly.
So when people meet you and they realize you're Jamaican, give me one of the funniest stories, or just even it could be anything about, someone finding out you're Jamaican and what happens after.
It's always good vibes when you're in Jamaican because people always ask you about Jamaica. But I mean, it's just this thing of, do you know Usain Bolt? Do you know so and so? It's no, we don't know everybody, which is it's typical. But yeah, it's always been good at Jamaican, and people just ask you about your accent. What's it like in Jamaica? I always hear a lot, I always want to go visit. It's on my list of places to go and visit. So you just get a lot of good vibes.
Do you find that it's being Jamaican, and I hear this from people all the time, it's almost like a welcome mat is just thrown to you once they realize that you are Jamaican? Do you find that?
It's true. I mean, we, as I say, we're little but we're Talawa, so our culture goes ahead of us. And I mean, everyone just loves the music and the food, and they just think all Jamaicans are cool. And so when they say you're Jamaican, they're so interested in knowing about Jamaica that they just really welcoming. I don't think I've ever told anyone I'm Jamaican had a bad reaction. It's always an extra smile. Oh my goodness, it's where I want to go. What it is like over there. Yeah, always. It just makes you smile.
So the other question I have is this one. Is there a place in Kenya, if a Jamaican or anybody was to visit, you would say to them, you have to go here, so what's that place?
I think, okay, one of the iconic places to go in Kenya, Nairobi, is to go to Carnivore. And it's just the novelty of the place. It's you go and you're going to get what you call nyama choma. So nyama choma means roast meat in Swahili. And there they just serve everything. So for example, when I came, that's where I went. That's where I tasted alligator. So alligator, interesting. It tastes kind of like smoked chicken. It's really not bad. But then they also give you some novelty meat. So you get antelope, which again is not bad. But then they went into some other ones that were not that great, like zebra. But generally, most of the meat is just beef, chicken, sausages, alligator, but then they have some novelty ones. So it's kind of the iconic place to go. And then they have their drinks, and you go and you have your nyama choma and have your drinks outside. So that's the one place where everybody kind of at least passes through for the experience. It's like when you go to Jamaica, you give somebody the good jerk pork place where you're going to go. So Carnivore is kind of like that place to go get the good nyama choma and just experience. But it's not an everyday thing. You go when you have friends, they experience it, but it's not like an everyday thing.
So my last question to you is this one. What advice would you give a Jamaican who is thinking of moving to Kenya?
Connect. I mean, because there's actually we have a group of Jamaicans, so we get together. Obviously, with COVID, we can't get together so much anymore, but we get together. We lime. When Andrew Honus was here last year, we all met up and made sure that we represented at the state dinner. And we just get together. Sometimes somebody will just say, "Come, I'm cooking up some red pea soup. Come by," and we just go by and have some rum and some red pea soup. So I would say connect. Just we have a group, and then when anyone is in, we join in, we welcome them, and then they're part of get to know part of community, because it helps you to settle in when you kind of have a group that you can touch base with.
About how many of you?
Ooh, that's kind of hard to say, because we come in stages. For example, there's a generation before me. And I mean, I think it even came out when Kenya's president came to Jamaica, because one of his brothers is married to a lady whose mother is Kenyan. So the mother came over, got married here. So there's a generation of that, and there are quite a few of them actually. And then there's like my age group. Some of us got married to Kenyans. Some of us are kids of that earlier generation that came in the 70s. And so I can't, it's hard to say how many of us there are. We everywhere. So
I know.
We represent, we're a big enough group to represent. Let me put it that way. And even if we're small, we make a lot of noise, so people know we're here.
So Kerry-Ann, thank you for taking the time to join us and just giving us a little idea of what it's like being a Jamaican in Kenya. I don't know if you have any closing thoughts, any last words that you'd like to say, maybe something in Swahili.
Okay. At the end, I will say karibu, which means thank you. And karibu is welcome. So you're welcome, and asante, which is thank you. So you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. And it was my pleasure to be here. I mean, Kenya is now my second home. I'm as passionate now about it as I am about Jamaica. So I'm really happy just to get the chance to just show you a little bit of through what I've said. But yeah, it's a good country. Yeah, I'm enjoying being here.
Thank you very much, Kerry-Ann, and you have a blessed day, and thanks for sharing your story with us. Take care.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.